Welcome back, everyone. We're at the Arathusa Dam. A nice group of buffalo bulls. Nice cool weather. There's quite a bit of sort of playing, a little bit of spar fighting, a little bit to the right there, Brian. Oh no, he's doing the stage show you on the right shots. There we go. Now that's dominance. I mean, that's two males, but mounting the other male is a sign of dominance. There are some younger bulls in this group as well. Not the really old. There are some really old dagger boys, but I can see a couple of bulls who possibly still might join up with herds again, like that one there, in the center of shot at the moment. Can you hear them? The one who's being horned, complaining. Here we go, some mounting behavior again. So even amongst these old bulls or these old bachelor groups, there will be a hierarchy. Can actually hear the horns clinking from here. The temperature's dropping quite quickly. I'm getting very chilly. It's amazing. It almost seems like the whole bush has sort of taken a day off after that big rainstorm. Everyone's sort of very quiet. So before we stumbled across these buffalo bulls, we went to go check the last position of the Tsalala breakaway pride. Unfortunately, it looks like the tracks have gone further to the south, outside of our Travis area. So we decided to come have a look at the dam, see what was cracking, and we found a nice big group of buffalo bulls, and they're sort of playing. So quite nice, not normally as they normally are, just sitting in one place. A bit of sparring going on, some dominance displays, mounting displays. I mean, even though this isn't a real fight, it's not very serious, you see how they try to hook under. So to try to get the curve of that hook sort of under the ear. So watch, that's what the battle's for. Then you get the sharp part of your horn into this. There we go. Oh, the one on the right's definitely better at getting that little hook around. Oh, there we go. See, it's very close to the eye. Come on, guys, we're trying to watch there. Oh, there. Incredibly hard, those bosses. Unbelievably thick layer of matted hair. Oh, there's another little sparring session going on. There are some hippos behind us, but we're going to have a look what they're up to just now. I think these buffalo look like they're going to start moving. And they'll move away from the water's edge. They normally go sleep up on the crests where it's a bit warmer. Because they're starting to meander away from the water as it's getting cooler. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to scoot around onto the dam wall and go have a quick look at some hippopotami. copy last station. No, I'm not copying you very well. Please can you go again with that message? We got a group of Egyptian geese. Now, what they're doing out on the short grassland is they're grazers. So they are grazing grass. There's some nice little bit of green growth, even as quickly from that little bit of rain last night. So there's a flock of geese grazing. Egyptian geese. Or pyramid ducks, if you get confused. Okay, let's go have a look at those hippos. I can hear them snorting behind me. Good afternoon, Kirsten from the Netherlands. Welcome on your sunset safari with us. Kirsten would like to know, says if she had to sit in water for 12 hours like a buffalo, her skin would get really, really messed up. So she would like to know how a buffalo can sit in water for that long. Because the reason they do it is to get away from parasites like flies and ticks. So what they'll do is they'll often sit in the water to avoid, or especially to avoid flies, but if you see them rolling in the mud, they are caking themselves in that mud. So when the mud hardens and they start rubbing against a tree or a rock, the tick will be encased and fall out with the mud. But their skin is much, much thicker than ours, and that's probably why they're able to sit for so long. Their skin is very, very thick and very, very tough. We're going to stop here and have a look at the hippopotami that are right in front of Arathusa Lodge. Good evening, Genevieve. Welcome on your sunset safari. Genevieve would like to know what is all the plant life and greenery in the dam. What is all the plant life and greenery in the dam? Most of that looks to be purple panweed. I can't remember the Latin name, but I'm sure there's different types of oxygen grasses and that under the water, but I can't be 100% sure. I know there's buffalo right up at the back. Those hippos don't seem to be wanting to be seen, keeping a low profile. Very picturesque spot, this. They're all over this place, the hippos. Good evening, Look for Lions. Welcome on Sunset Safari. There's a special request of me doing the hippo imitations. So that we will do that shortly for you, Look for Lions. But I think we're actually going to go look for some lions next. We'll try to at least. I'm going to check the western side of the dam and up back towards, slowly making our way towards Juma. I was hoping the hippos are going to call. Ah. How's that? Ask and you shall receive. It's amazing how sometimes just that tiny little nose sticks out. That looks like a young hippo, probably riding on mom's back still. Oh, opening mouth to the right. Ah, so close. So the hippos will start getting ready to get moving. They're gonna head out and start grazing now. So, oh, there you go. Do you think they got it? No answer. Need to work on my hair part. I need to work on my hippo.
I think the pronunciation was off.
Yes. I only speak the northern Botswanan dialect of hippopotamus. Okay, well, it's that time of the day when lions and leopards like to start getting moving. So I think we're going to do the same. And hopefully we will bump into one of those two. And we've been so spoiled in recent weeks with cats, but we've got to remember that it is the bush, and we don't just open a latch and out come the big and scaries. Sometimes we've got to work quite hard for them. Hopefully we don't go into the dam. From Canada, welcome on the Sunset Safari. Blair would like to know, does all that floating vegetation ever die off seasonally? There will be a little bit of die off during the winter months or the dry months coming up, Blair, but no, it's not really going to ever sort of disappear. Occasionally outbreaks, or not outbreaks, I suppose is the wrong word, but large emergences of certain insects can beat a duck quite a lot, but that only happens every couple of years. It's sort of nature controlling itself. So this drainage line we're going to be heading along now is a favorite of Shadow's. So I'm hoping at this time of the day she might be out moving on one of the roads. Good evening, Jean from Idaho. Welcome on Sunset Safari. Jean would like to know, are there any animals that hunt hippos? Well, Jean, there are. Lions are possibly the ones that hunt hippos the most and most regularly, and especially in... Oh, sorry, Jean from Los Angeles, not Idaho. Jean would like to know what animals hunt hippo, and as I was saying, lots, quite a few different species. Lions are probably the most well-known sort of hippo hunters. Depending on the area, so certain areas in Zambia and southern Tanzania, where you've got very high densities of hippo in shallow rivers, and the hippo get pushed out of the river systems during the dry months. As the water dries up, there's a lot more competition. There's lion prides that specialize in hippo. The only other animal I've actually seen take hippo is hyena. I saw a clan of 12 hyena actually harass and bite a hippo for about 3.5 to 4 hours till the loss of blood was enough for the hippo to sort of just give up. So they just managed to keep it from getting back to the river. That was also in northern Botswana. But I think those are probably the only two major predators, obviously outside of human beings, who would hunt hippo. In the central area of Botswana during the dry season, historically, I'm going back probably 300 years and before, the way they used to hunt hippo was very cruel. So these large acacia thorns that we see, so basically what they used to do is they'd build an acacia fence around a pool of water that has been separated. So this is only in areas where the rivers dry up quite a bit, and so they would build this thorn fence, and they would make sure that the hippos could only walk out of 2 or 3 very narrow paths, and then they would put as many sharp sticks, stones, thorns, etc. on those very narrow paths, which caused the hippos to get sort of very sore and damaged feet, and also stopped them being so mobile, which enabled them to be able to spear them. Not the nicest way, but back then it was very much survival, and if you managed to get a hippo for your village, you could dry that meat and you would have meat for a very long time. Another way from Zambia, which I saw, which is very interesting, is a spear drop trap. That they've been used all over Africa for things like hippo and elephant. Basically, there's a little catch on a major hippo path or elephant path, and there's a heavily weighted spearhead above it. And as the hippo or elephant walks underneath, it sets off the trap, and the trap drops straight into the animal's back. Quite often, not going in the right place, so not a very effective way. Lose a lot of animals, but they were able to sort of relatively safely attempt to hunt one of those large herbivores. Oh, this one's a big one. Whoa, big bumps. Tracks yet, but we're still working the edge of this drainage line. For those of you who are just joining us, or maybe stepped out for a cup of tea or something, we are looking in an area that's frequented quite often by Shadow and her cub, and just checking the roads on the edge of this thicket of the drainage line, see if there are any tracks. We went and had a look where the lions were yesterday. Unfortunately, they've gone further south. So we're hoping that we can spot a shadow in this area, but it's proving to be quite a quiet afternoon. So I think I'm going to have to start asking you guys more questions till we can find something. And I know no, that one's too easy. I have to find something a bit harder. Looking. Good evening, Thelma from Michigan. Thelma would like to know if there are any fish in these water holes we visit. Yes, Thelma, there are. I don't actually have my fish book with me. The most common fish in these is a type of catfish called a sharp-toothed catfish. Naked. Oh, there's Franklin alarm calling, but with this wind, it was as the wind picked up, it might just be a false alarm. Yeah, it hasn't carried on the high-pitched afterwards that they do like when they see a leopard. Sorry, Thelma, back to you. Also, Thelma, there are probably 2 or 3 tilapia species and 1 or 2 barb species. The tilapia that's indigenous to this area, the main tilapia species, you guys in the States will know as the tilapia you get in your supermarkets. Or not almost. It's called a Mozambique tilapia or tilapia mozambiquense. But the type and they're the best eating out of the tilapias, the nicest tasting. But I think a lot of the tilapia that are farmed in the States are hybrids between 2 species of tilapia, the Mozambique tilapia, which is considered the best eating, and the Nile tilapia, which is the fastest growing. So, very interesting. So the tilapia you guys buy that is farmed in the States as a food source, and you can get it in most of your grocery shops. Tilapia is, they're both African species, the hybrid that is farmed from. So guys, to let you know, I'm moving quite close to the edge of Arathusa now, the boundary between Djuma and Arathusa. I'm going to check up towards our touch rugby field quickly at Knobthorne Pan and see if anything's there. Other than that, I think I'm going to duck back into Djuma, but I'll let you know when I do that. Also, just a little update on the weather. As you can see, the wind's picked up quite a lot. Temperatures dropped again. Brian's already all kitted out. Jackets on, jerseys on. I think I'm going to be following suit quite soon. I think it's going to be quite a chilly one tonight. Nothing quite like you're used to, but for us soft African boys who spend their time in the sunshine, anything below about 70 degrees Fahrenheit is too cold for us. We prefer it warm. I mean, even this afternoon was just pushing at 73. I was slightly uncomfortable for a while. But I manned out and didn't take the blanket out till later. Let's play a game. I've got some questions for you. Let's have a think. There we go. What area of Africa has the largest body size, average body size for elephants? And a sub-question, how big was the heaviest elephant ever recorded in the wild? And where was that animal recorded from? And you can send your answers to questions at WildEarth.tv, or you could just use the hashtag Safari Live if you're on Twitter. So, what area in Africa has the average largest body size for elephants, and where and how heavy was the largest elephant bull ever recorded? guys. Just listening to the radio. Okay, just getting a quick update for what's happening around. Just to let you go, I know there's a lot of you out there who really love the Nkahuma pride lions. So apparently they are lying up a couple of hundred meters to the north of our eastern boundary, or northwest of our eastern boundary. So hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow morning they come in into Juma. So let's go past the touch rugby field. Maybe there'll be more animals than just a bunch of 20 boys on it today. From Oklahoma, welcome on the Sunset Safari. Gentlemen would like to know, do any of the big cats ever climb in water to cool off after eating a big kill? Or do they ever utilize the water? Gentlemen, some of them do. African cats are not the biggest fans of water, depending on the area that they're in. But for example, tigers and jaguars, two big cats that occur out of Africa, utilize water to cool off, and a jaguar even uses it, and tigers even utilize it to hunt from. So that's really interesting. Lions around here, I mean, they will cross rivers, they will walk in water, they don't like it. I mean, I love watching the lions when they want to go cross a bit of water, because they sort of, you see them, they get ready and they get near the water and they go, whoops, and they go, and you put the tail, and then it just thinks, oh, crocodile. And they go, and they start snarling at the water, even though there's nothing there. But even before their toe just dips under, and they're very grumpy, and they do that sort of high step to try and get through the water quickly. Yet then you go up to northern Botswana, where lions will swim 150 meters across in a lagoon in the Okavango Delta, where it's a very waterlogged area. So with a lot of animal behavior, you've got to realize that the behavior is area specific rather than species specific. So the Sabi Sands lions here probably would not try swim across something, whereas a lion from Botswana or from the Kafue in Zambia would definitely swim across a large river, 100, 200 meters. So it's very interesting that. That was a very nice question. Thanks very much, gentlemen. And the touch rugby field is barren. Guys, I'm just going to check this last little corner of Arathusa. We're going to cut across to Scotty. Hopefully he's having a bit more luck than we're at the moment. And we'll catch up with you a little later. Have fun with Scott.
Welcome back, everyone. And it sounds like you've been having a scenic sunset session at the Arathusa Dam, and what a beautiful setting it is at this stage of the day. I'm not sure if the wind had picked up where you were with Brent. We're probably about 5 or 6 miles away from him, and the wind has really picked up here and is making for a cold and moody evening. It's typically not the best weather to find game in. Why, I'm not too sure, because it's not like they can hide in bunkers underground. But it does often appear to be more difficult to find animals in this kind of a weather. Maybe it's just me and my luck. It is great weather for hunting though, because in this low light, predators will have less chance of being detected by their prey, and also importantly, their approach will be muffled. The sound of their pads slowly approaching their prey will be muffled by all the wind and leaves rustling rustling. So if we do manage to find something, and it is a predator, we may stand a chance of watching it successfully hunt. It's not something that we get to share with you very often, but it's a great evening in terms of weather for that. It's also a great time of year because the impala are rutting and the men are basically running around like madmen, focused only on chasing away other males and trying to secure as many females as possible. And it's when they are in this rut-induced rage of excitement that they may drop their guard and become easy prey for the predators. And funnily enough, the road we are driving down is called Impala Plains, and there are often impala in this area. And what I've noticed in my years following leopard is that leopard will respond directly to the loud gurgling roar of male impalas rutting. Even if the leopard is asleep, it could hear these impala rutting and then wake up and head straight there, knowing that there's a chance of an easy meal. And here is a male impala. I did see a few females, but they've disappeared behind the bushes. But it will be interesting to spend a few moments here. Ah, there's some of his ladies. And watch him run around, and potentially we may even see him let off this quite comical gurgling, burping roar that the males perform to show their size and dominance over other males. They will occasionally fight with one another, and when they do, it often doesn't end in death, but occasionally it does. And I've actually found a few impala that have been killed by other males when fighting. You can see they're quite skittish, and that is because of the wind. They know that one of their senses, hearing, has been muffled, and that is why they're looking quite nervous. That, coupled with the fact that they've got this excited male that's running around them, not now, but certainly would have been during the day. Ellen from Arkansas, and welcome on board with us. Just seen them run off. They looked intently into the bushes and then ran off. So I'm just heading into this area to see what they ran from. It could just be that they're nervous because of the wind, or they may have seen something. Now back to Ellen. Good evening. And Ellen is interested to know what would happen if a male impala got killed. Would there be another male impala to take over? And there certainly would be. Because the rutting season is so intense, the males will compete aggressively, and there will always be males lingering around a currently dominant male, trying to get rid of him. And the males may often only be dominant for a few days before they become too tired from running around and mating, and that may make space for another male to come through. So there's no shortage of willing males that would gladly take over from a male that may be killed. It's an ongoing battle that they have to keep other males at bay, and it lasts for about 1 month. A very short, intense rut. And what that does to help the impala's success rates, when the youngsters are born, there's only a 1 month window where predators will be able to capitalize on young, inexperienced, and weaker calves, or calves rather, impala lambs rather. So that is one of the reasons why they are such successful herbivores, and probably the most numerous of all the antelope here. Well, it seems that the Impala just had a false alarm there and ran off for no apparent reason, but that's not untypical behavior in this windy weather.
So they're moving southwest towards maybe they're going to come out there. Sassen's dam side.
Some hyena trucks on the road there. I got confused for a second. I thought they could be leopard. Got another question come through, and it's from Teresa in Virginia Beach. Welcome on board with us. Teresa is interested to know a question that has completely slipped my mind. Now, one thing I'm not good at doing is multitasking, and as soon as I stopped and looked at the tracks, I didn't copy the message very clearly. Okay, but that doesn't matter. Sorry I didn't answer your question, Teresa. I will answer it later. But over to Brent. He's got something exciting. See you later.
Welcome back, guys. We are right on the boundary of our property. Unfortunately, what you're seeing there is just outside our property. This is the closest we can get, but it is a male leopard on a kill, and it looks like he's been here for a day or two already. Maybe not. It's difficult to see what the kill is. I'm gonna guess it's quarantine. You guys can give me a hand if you guys see any recognizing features, please. You can see there's that very distinct landing strip off the tail. When I first got here, I thought it might be a bit big to be quarantine, but I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can have a look, see if you recognize anything, and let me know which leopard this is. Obviously, it's quite difficult without being able to see his face, and you can send those answers to questions at WildEarth.tv, or you can just use the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. There's two hyena coming in behind us. They should arrive shortly. Brian's just let me know there's actually 4 hyena coming in. This could get quite exciting. So how we found him is we were heading along the boundary, and I bumped into Doug, a friend of mine who works at another lodge, and he was like, "Guys, did you know there was a leopard there?" We were like, "No." So we stopped on the road, and on the main boundary road, and we can just see him feeding up in the tree there. I do think it is quarantine, just looking again at that very distinct landing strip. But it looks big though. But I think quarantine. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I also think quarantine.
What we'll do is we'll wait for the hyena to come in. There's one of the youngsters. They've already started traveling. Yep. So one of the cubs is they go out from about 6 months. We're going to get the hyenas now shortly, but there are 4 of them moving in. Sorry guys, the silence is we're just watching the hyenas to see if they've actually realized that there's a leopard on a kill here yet. The wind is coming from their back, so they won't be able to smell the kill. And here comes it looks like they're coming in closer now. So as I was saying, one of the cubs from the den, there we go, they've worked it out. Watch their tails starting to get a little bit more erect. You can hear. honestly, they haven't figured out exactly where it is. The leopard might lift his head and look at them if he hears them, but he's not. He's just carrying on feeding. But if the hyenas get underneath, he might. We can hear the hyenas start getting excited. You can just hear them in the bush. Here comes one out. See, tails are up, bit of excitement. The youngsters running around. There we go. Nice. So the kill is quite safe up there. There's all 4 of them there. See how the little one's got his tail up. So we're probably going to be seeing less and less activity at the den unless some new cubs are born, because from about this age they will still stay around the den quite a lot, but they will go out foraging with the adults. So guys, unfortunately we can't stay too long. There's another car who's waiting to get into the sighting very patiently. So I'm going to move out and give... Oh, let's just wait. Right next to us here, Brian. The little one. Just have 2 more minutes with the hyenas. So that's one of the youngsters from the den. Probably as the crow flies from the den, we're about 2.5, 3 kilometers. But you can see, even at this age, a little bit risky to take the youngsters out, but they do, and that's how they do. They start learning the clan territory and getting ready for adult life. And you can still see a little bit nervous. I think if there was a lion around, this guy would already be running home. Okay, we have one final look at what we think's Q up in the tree. Unfortunately, as I said, we can't go any closer. It's in the neighboring property. And also, there are other vehicles waiting, and they're coming now. So we've got to get moving. But that's really, really fantastic. At least we know where he is. And he's right on the boundary, so hopefully he moves in. He moves in back to Juma when that carcass is done. Thanks, guys. Please apologize to everyone. I don't have comms. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, Sid. Cheers, buddy. It's also causing quite a traffic jam here, being on the main road. There's cars coming in from all directions, so we're going to skedaddle. But dude, isn't that exciting? We got to see, it wasn't the best sighting of leopard we had, but...
Still a leopard.
Exactly. I used to work with this tracker called Nick the elephant. And he used to say, even if you see just the tail, a leopard is a leopard. Finished. So, we saw a leopard. And some hyenas. More hyenas here than there were at the den. Interestingly enough. How's it, everyone? How you guys doing? How's it, morning? Nice to see you, buddy. Oh, enjoy, guys. Hope you guys have a good evening. We'll see you guys soon. Sorry, I was just saying hello to one of the game drive vehicles that's on its way to see that leopard. So, that's interesting. So, from where Hayden saw quarantine cross, if it is quarantine, I'm not 100%, it's a very long way from there, and he crossed right down into the south, and he's now in the west. Very interesting. guys, thanks very much for your comments and stuff like that. They think it might be Impala. As I said, I thought it might be a bit too big for quarantine. Impala apparently also has a landing strip. I did not realize that. I'd only really noticed quarantines. But I'm definitely going to have to go back into my photos and look and recognize that. That's a really nice tip. Thanks, guys, for being able to identify Impala. But as I said, yeah, he looked a bit too big for me. He's very thick in the neck. And then also quite a few of you wondering what the kill was. Unfortunately, I couldn't see from where we were. All I saw was a rib cage with no skin on it, so the skin had already been taken off. So just judging from the general size of the kill, it's probably an Impala or maybe a female Impala or a bushbuck, just judging from the size of the kill that's left there. Thanks very much, Jilly from Milwaukee. Jilly's just letting me know that Quarantine's landing strip is 4 lanes wide and Mvula's is 2 lanes wide. I didn't have a close enough look at that landing strip, so I'm going to agree with you guys. You're far quicker at doing leopards than we are. So well done, and I am going to change my statement. I'd say that was really nice to see Mvula. We have good to see Mvula. We still don't know where Quarantine is. Cancel everything else I said. But it is going to be quite interesting. We have heard a big male leopard calling around the camp, and that was last night. So this would make sense that it is Mvula, and only the dominant male is gonna call while he's moving through an area. So you guys, just gonna give me 1 second. I just need to get my spotlight out. Alright, ask for a hand there, please, bro. Thank you. So, we're going to go into that area that Stephen, Scott and I have been calling the dark hole, because we've gone in, we've found leopard tracks there quite often. They just haven't panned out for us. And that happened following, there must have been Mvula's tracks yesterday, because we followed those tracks, but we didn't get any luck. There we go. There's our spotlighty. It's almost at half light at the moment. So I'm not sure whether it's better with the spotlight or without, but the one spotlighty. So he wouldn't normally sit this far